Okay, hey, what's up, guys? Today, I want to talk to you about something that plagues all of our social media clients, like almost all of our social media clients, and it's their inability to record content for themselves, but more specifically, a fear to hit record. Right? Like I think we all have it. It's definitely something that I have. My wife has, and she's on TV every day, right? But like still this nervousness to hit record and commit to putting something out on the internet that people are going to watch. And in our minds, we tell ourselves that they're going to critique us and that they're going to pass judgment on what we're doing and just otherwise, do all the things that we feel uncomfortable with. So let's get into that a little bit and let's talk about how we can overcome that fear and some of the tips and tricks that we've figured out to help our clients. What's up, guys? So now this is just my opinion, but for those of you who are old enough to recall a time back before YouTube, it was pretty widely known that like the number one fear shared among all people was the fear of speaking in public. Like that was just something that everybody knew. But now I think that for those of us that are old enough, those of us who had those fears of speaking in public and consider that to be our biggest fear, a lot of that's carrying over and transitioning to recording videos for ourselves. Those same fears that we had from what we thought people might think or how we might be judged when we speak in public, those same type of fears are just being redirected into an inability to record videos for ourselves, which is a problem, right? Because we can be really, really passionate about something and really love something, but just have an inability to talk about it or put content out because of fear, which is silly, right? Like it really shouldn't be that way. And in our minds, we can tell ourselves that we're brave, but when it comes down to actually hitting record, it's tough. It is. I admit it, it's tough. So a fear of judgment is what this basically comes down to. Like, it's not that we're afraid of speaking or saying the right words necessarily, maybe a little bit, but it's that fear of judgment and what will other people think. And the quicker that we can overcome our fear of what other people think, the faster we can get to making content and the better content that we'll create. So I want to walk through a few tips and tricks that we've figured out work for our clients, that work for us, and I believe are going to work for you too. Some tips and tricks about how to overcome your fear of recording videos. So let's dive into it right now. Before everything else, let's make sure that you're physically ready to record, that you have had something to eat, that you've got, something to drink nearby, or that you had something to drink. That you feel good, that you're in a place where there isn't tons of distractions, kids running around, people poking their head in to ask you questions. Just try to find ourselves in the best possible position to record. Don't be so hard on yourself. Now, I know that's easier said than done. I get it. But do this. Watch some other YouTube videos. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be something random. It can be something in your own space. But watch some other YouTube videos that are similar to the type that you want to make. And ask yourself, am I being as critical to them as I'm worried about other people being to me? And unless you're just a horribly trollish person, the fear is almost always in our own heads. It's something that lives in our own heads because we don't watch other videos and pick them apart. I mean, I get it. We can all do that from time to time. But for the most part, we're not doing that. And people aren't going to do it to you. And if they do, it really doesn't matter. They're not people that you need to care about anyway, really. Let me try to put it in terms that we all can relate to. Would you rather watch a video that's 100% perfectly done, like no mistakes, no words said a little weird, timing's all perfect, like just everything is perfect, spoken to camera, awesome? Would you rather watch that, or would you rather watch a video that's more like what you would experience if you're having a conversation with somebody or that you're really talking to somebody. I think we would all agree that we prefer to have a more casual conversation. Now, that doesn't mean that it's, no thought put into it. Of course, we want to do some planning, but that kind of informal conversation does well. It works well. In fact, it's a big reason why the live streams do really well. So we want to watch something real, something that resembles what our real life conversations are like. And so that's really what we want to create, is something similar to that. Strange as it may seem, our mistakes, they make us human. And in most cases, we're willing to forgive people of those mistakes, and people will forgive us of those mistakes. And so you got to remember that people are not going to be as judgmental of you as you are, or at least that you think that they are. Okay. All right. Next step. Plan it out. Okay. So there's this nice balance that happens. A nice balance that happens between having something perfectly planned out and something that's off the cuff. I think that people that are good public speakers do this really well. They have a good idea of what they want to speak about. They know the subject. They've got a handful of bullet points or whatever in a notebook or on a card. And they basically just speak to those bullet points, not unlike what I'm doing right now. It's just, you're a professional at what you're talking about, or at least you're passionate about what you're talking about. So you shouldn't have to do a lot of research or memorizing or anything like that. Like, you should be able to talk about the stuff that you're passionate about, right? It should be easy. And once you can get in that headspace to do that, your videos are going to be a lot better, and you're going to have a lot less fear of pressing record. Next, practice off camera or while you're driving. Take a few moments to run through what you're going to talk about. If you do that, things will go better. Practice makes perfect. We don't want to practice it so much that it's a rote performance and wooden, but practice enough that you kind of know what to expect, at least, so that there's no curveballs coming at you and that you're fumbling through your notes or whatever. And guys, even if you are fumbling through your notes, you can usually edit those things out. So just saying. Finally, the most scary of all the tips, and that is ask for constructive feedback, but not just from anybody, right? We don't want constructive feedback from our spouse necessarily, our parents, our grandparents, family members, close friends, coworkers. These people will, they may pull punches. They may say things, too directly. It doesn't matter. There's a whole bunch of baggage that comes along with all these people and our relationships with them that make them a bad choice for accepting criticism and feedback. So instead, you might want to look somewhere within your niche. Like, perhaps there's another creator that you emulate or that you like what they're doing. And if they're not a huge creator, you can probably DM them and they'll probably watch your video and give you a few pointers. If you're not asking them how to do it and what to do, but you're genuinely just asking, hey, can you take a look at my video and tell me, 3 or 4 things that you think I could do better? Most people will do that for you. And the nice part is that the more feedback you get from different people in different positions, the better you're going to be able to take that feedback back and apply it, right? So it's nice to get people who can give you feedback from within your niche. It's nice to get feedback from people who are excellent content creators, at least their production's really good. Getting feedback from, a speaking coach, a business coach, heck, even getting feedback from someone who knows nothing about anything of what you're doing, that they can just, objectively look at what you're doing and tell you if they are resonating with it, if they're understanding it, if it's making sense, and if it looks good. So take a second to overcome that fear and ask for advice and ask for some criticism. And I know that it'll pay off for you. Okay, guys, so that's my advice on how you can overcome your fear of hitting the big red button, pressing record, and start creating content for yourself. We went over a few things today. We talked about get the right food in your body and drink in your body and situation. Like make sure your situation, your surroundings is good. Be in a good spot to start. Number 2, don't be so hard on yourself. Don't let that get in your mind that people are going to be as hard as you think that they are. Number 3, don't strive for perfection in your videos. Don't strive to have every single thing be perfect. Don't, stop and re-record it if you mess a word up or whatever. It's weird. It's weird. So it's okay to make little mistakes here and there. Unless you're making a commercial for TV, that needs to be perfect. But the rest of this, it actually comes across a little better if it's slightly frayed on the edges. And that's okay. That's totally okay. What matters most is how you deal with it. How much attention and reaction you give to your own mistakes dictates everything, honestly. Plan out your content. Take a second to outline it, to make the bullet points that you need so that you can talk to your audience without having to stop too much or think too much. You're talking about something you know about, that you enjoy, that you're passionate about. All you need is bullet points to be able to do that. Lastly, practice before you do it, and find the right person who can give you some feedback and advice. Find a person who's objective, whose opinion you care about, but you don't. It's not a family member, it's not a friend, it's not somebody who you could be offended by. Ask somebody objective for their opinion. Ask from a variety of different people, and then take that advice, since it'll be a little bit easier to digest, and apply it. That'll help you a lot. Finally, rinse and repeat, guys. Once you've made your first video and you post it, that's like a huge landmark. If you've done that, then you've overcome one of the biggest hurdles that we all face, one of the biggest hurdles. And from there, literally, you've done all the work to climb up the hill. Now it's all downhill in terms of your fears. You'll have overcome your fear of doing it for the first time. You'll see that it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be, and that it actually can be enjoyable, and something that if you don't stress about too much, can be something that you genuinely enjoy and look forward to doing. Okay, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Really appreciate it that you would spend some of your valuable time watching our channel and taking our advice. It does mean a lot. If I can be helpful to you, or my team can be helpful to you in any way, I would love to be able to watch your video and give you some feedback. All you need to do is ask. Guys, I'll see you next time.